Okay. Welcome everybody to the Noyantis User Group. It's the 27th of March 2017. Right, let's get started. Has anybody got any questions? There's no real update news from us. We've been away a couple of times of late, which has obviously set things back a little. But here now. Now I know Arnold has got wanted to work on the resizing issue he's having, not really to do with Noyantis products, but see if we can still find a workaround. And there is causing that same resizing issue is causing a shadow on the command bar, so undoubtedly we'll be covering that later. But I wanted to see if there are any questions to start with before we get into some in-depth code like that.
I don't see any.
No, John, Lisa, none from you. That'll be a first.
Yeah. We're still having troubles with GPFs though, but it's the same thing as last time. It's on report controls and command bars. I was going to try and analyze it a little bit more and see if I could figure it out. It seems to be when we have like several report controls, and maybe it has something to do with it being a legacy app or something. But I'll try and track it down some more for you. I don't think we need to cover it too much today.
No, but that's. I was going to say, I can try and recreate that just from a testing point of view. So the screen's got what? Quite a few report controls. Are they data bound? Are they not?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. And you've got if you temporarily turn off the command bar, does that make a difference?
It's hard to say because it's in a live system, so they're using it all day. And it's not like they get GPFs like every minute or something. It just happens kind of randomly. Sometimes, we looked at the timer thing and I put the timer flag in. Right. Sometimes they would step away and come back and it would just click on the window and then it would throw the error. So that could be a gain focus error too or something happening. Lots of things trigger maybe. I don't know. Very hard to track down because it's hard to know what they're doing. So.
Of course. Ultimately, you could put some write some logs out, but of course, would that mask anything? Shouldn't do, to be fair. But could you put any logs out, and if they get the particular issue, write the logs out?
Well, we got the GPF reporter, which tells us where it happens, but it kind of tells us what they're doing because it tells us what screen they were in. So that kind of
we don't
helps.
know whether
Let me try to
refresh. Yeah, I don't know if it's refreshing the data, refreshing the report control content, so on and so forth.
So a lot of times they'll tell us what they were doing, and sometimes it just we came back and clicked on it and it went away. So to me that's like it's going through that event function thing, right? So it's some kind of event that's causing.
Well,
then it just
does it. If it's imagine all the functions, all the methods, all the commands go through event func if they generate a callback. Well, once it's initialized, if you're not refreshing data, if you're not doing this, you're not doing that, then they really wouldn't be expecting to see anything in there. They are really proactive. So event driven. So you would do something on the report control, maybe cause a redraw, scroll it, so on and so forth, which would in turn cause the callbacks to happen. But if you're not actively doing anything on that window, then there should be no callbacks generated. So there should be no code generated, and no code executed. In theory. These are what you think they had a timer on them, though.
Well, I put that timer flag. I pretty much got it so there's hardly any timers in there at all, and then I also put the flag on so that when the timer comes, then it sets the flag on, and then when it's done process, and then it goes off, it does a local procedure, and then when it's done, it resets the flag so we can continue to do it. So I'm pretty sure it's not stepping on anything.
Right. Okie dokie. Right. Well,
I thought that was a good idea.
The only thing I would suggest there, sorry, the only thing I would suggest there would be maybe write out to a log, and I've got a utils class that'll help for that. Write out to a log. It will slow it down, of course, because it's going to be continually writing to a log. But let's see, we can track it that way if you've got a site which should help you diagnose it. It's in their interest, I suppose.
Yeah, it's in everybody's interest to try and figure out what it is. I'll drop you over this log. This is a log file of the GPFs. I'm just gonna send it over to you.
Okay, yeah, and then
peek at it.
We'll bring it up on screen here to take a quick look.
There you are. Okay.
Okay. So bring that into, so you can see this on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know how to look at these, right? You look at the where it says 0, 1, and 0, 2 are the ones that are significant. I was going to write a little parser that got rid of all the question marks just to get rid of the noise on it, I guess. But anyway, I always look at like the 0, 1, and 0, 2. That kind of tells you what's the last things that happened. Those happened a while ago. You scroll maybe all the way to the bottom. Those are the most recent GPS.
Oh wow, I'm going to say it's quite...
It's a log file. Yeah, they haven't cleaned that out in a while.
Yep.
Yeah, so like 02 says event function, that's the NYS common, went through there, and then the report control.
Yeah,
was the last thing.
Because you would, if I remember correctly,
right.
The common would execute, let me have a quick look at which way around it would be. Won't be a second, just looking on the other screen. Report control one's quite right. Okay, so the event func of the report control itself would trigger first, followed by the event func of the common class afterwards. So looking at what you've got there, okie dokie. Still doesn't really tell us much though, does it?
No, if you scroll up just a little bit, then it shows you what the real, what the error was that crashed it. If you go up, right there, there was an error.
Violation, yeah.
In the OLE control.
Is it more than one site?
Yeah, it's at different sites.
Oh, okay. Just wondering if it was data driven, that type of thing. Not actively seeing this. Yeah, I'm not actively getting reports of this elsewhere. I'll be honest with you.
Well, that's why I'm wondering if it has. I mean, we're a legacy app, so that may or may not have something to do with it. I wouldn't think so, but
no.
Timings are different in the accept loop. They're a little bit different in the way they handle things, but not too different.
This one.
I have a window manager.
Yeah. Yeah, like you say, same there. Goes through.
Yeah, that was the same module 003.
Yep. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so those are kind of consistent ones. I might be able to just go tweak that procedure and see if I can do something with it.
No,
that one was in 004, so that was a different one.
Check.
That might not be you.
And update. I was going to say I don't get that one.
No, that looks like that's not even yours. So you can skip that one.
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't recognise that one unless there's a thing on that screen. But
there's an access balance too. That one's.
Yeah, that's similar.
That's a command bar. Yeah, that's a command bar. But I had a lot of command bars on one window, and I took a bunch of them out. So I was going to see if when they ran it, if that reduce the problem. But they just got that release, so we'll see how that goes.
You have, are they on different tabs then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tabs. So I took them all off, so there's just one command bar now at the top. It's not on a tab.
Okay.
So I'll see if that eliminates that issue. Because that's the other thing too. There are tabs on these where the report controls are, and where the command bars, where they're all on tabs.
Yep. So on the command bar, you get to say what parent control it belongs to, but that's it shouldn't really make much of a difference. That's really just to do with hooking it onto the container. That's all.
Right.
Sorry, John. A bit of a loss.
It's a tough one. We're just kind of making tweaks and then seeing if it reduces it or makes a change or whatever. They're just getting the updates now, so I wouldn't worry about this too much at the moment. Okay. So this was in February. This one here. I mean, they're not. It's not bringing them to their knees, but it happens often enough that
but you don't want to hit their confidence neither at the same time. No, that doesn't do anyone any good.
Right. So anyway, we'll keep plugging on it. I'm not overly anxious about it.
I would look at putting some kind of writing out some kind of log. If you put it in the event func, it would get a lot goes in there, and I mean quite a lot. So that would get absolutely hammered. You could put it in the command bar event func. That's not too bad, I don't think. But the report control probably would get a lot. I'm trying to think if there's a particular thing you could trap, like certain events. Nothing's jumping out, nothing springing to mind, to be honest. I suppose start with the events. What would happen on a timer? Yeah, start with those events. What would happen on a timer? So when you're coming back, obviously something might have happened in the background. You click on it, and that's when you get to see it. So what happens on the timer? Is it just a refresh, and so on? And maybe just put it in those type of put an if statement and check for those type of events coming back.
Right. Okay. Will do.
Okay.
We'll figure it out eventually. Sure. It's just like.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Any other questions? I know we had a wish list idea come in from Greg, and Greg's here today. So let me have a quick look. I got the email through. Greg, do you have a microphone? Hi, Greg. Do you have a microphone available? One moment. Okay. Just while he's doing that, I will just quickly look to see if we can find the actual wish list item that he brought up.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
there you go.
Hi, Greg. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Andy. How are you?
Yes, good.
Good.
So, okay. So yeah, I've got your email here. So you're saying it's a wish list item, and what are we saying here?
Essentially, the big issue is that in the Noyantis template, selecting the background color for green bar selects a color, but I like the idea of being able to use a variable as an alternative, the way Soft Velocity does it.
Got you. Yep. Yeah, which does make sense. Well, what we've got there then is, from a template point of view, the actual entry can be, so let's say this entry over here. When you specify it, you can say it's a field or an optional field or a color or a control for that matter, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, I've got it as a color, which means when you press a little button, you get a color selection pop. Mm-hmm. I can change it to what you call an opt variable, which I can't see quite on theirs, but actually, let's just take a look at the Aquarium one to see if we can mimic that, so to speak.
I suspect they're hiding and unhiding two different fields. I'm just speculating at that, though.
Okay, let's take a quick look. I think we'll use the report control as a template. Now, I think in your email you're using the list box format. Styles. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we should have a standard Aquarium one somewhere. Oh, not the window. It's more in the styles, is it not?
It is.
So they don't have a lookup. Oh, no, this one does. Okay, so you have a lookup and you're choosing a colour, a bit like ours.
Right. Correct.
You're saying if they press V. Okay, yeah.
Now I can pick a variable. Yeah. It's really handy.
Okay, kind of makes sense. Yeah, they will ultimately. They must be taking a quick look at that. Actually, while we're waiting for other questions to be posted, I might actually just take a quick look at how they do it.
Well, on that subject of other questions, there's also my report control that doesn't display in a tree. If you have time to look at that, Andy.
Of course, yeah. Let's take a look. Just 1 second, just for knowledge, so we can know what they're doing on this one. I do suspect they are hiding and unhiding, as you say. I'm trying to find which one of their files it's in. Okay, so it's a check. Default web involved, so flat default. Yeah, okay. So let me just bring this in. So this is a window template. You see you've got your prompt there, so it's a V.
Mm-hmm.
It's a check, but it's a flat check, hence why you're seeing it like so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's setting Windows style font is variable, and they're enabling. There should be two enables somewhere here. Yeah. Button and enable false. Okay. And I should imagine these are both at the same position. Yeah, you can see there. So there's a section they've got. So basically they're pressing that, so foreground normal, and they are basically putting a box over the top of one another. And they've put it in an actual position, giving you the effect. So yeah, it can do that.
That'd be really nice. Thank you.
Yeah, especially for the colours. So it's many other colours. I think we actually we prompt for a couple of colours. If we take, say, any of the updates, the enhancers, and I think on our appearance we do have a couple of colours. That one, and on the options, the inline has a colour as well. Yeah, that'd work nice. So an opt variable, which we've got now, or a V for hang on. That's not an opt variable, sorry. That's a colour, or a V for and turn the other one into an optional variable. So you could actually put a constant in there if you wanted to as well.
That'd be great. Yes.
Yeah, so it gives you basically all three scenarios. Yeah, no problem.
Thanks very much.
Okay, so on to your other. You've got the tree. Now that I will have to dig out. Sorry about that. Do you want to quickly? Is there something you can show on your screen?
Yeah, I think we can do that. I haven't looked at it for a couple months, but yeah.
Yeah, no, let's do that. So let me just do this. Make presenter. I should get a prompt any minute.
Here we go. You should have it.
Okay, yep, can see your screen.
Alrighty. You know the history of this.
I would just want to explain a little for the purpose of the youth groups who might be watching this, wanting to see what we're doing, but not quite knowing the history and not quite following it.
Right. It's hard to put it in a nutshell. Essentially, it's a resource scheduling system using the report control track bars. And because of the nature of the business, we're actually displaying each day as a separate segment in the track bars. It's actually pretty complicated. So I have a separate window that I'm trying to create that would allow for the editing of assigned dates simply by dragging and dropping segments of the track bars. And that should be displayed in a tree view, which I'm just not able to do.
Okay, well, let's have a look at what we've got, and let's see if we can find out what's wrong. There you go. We first have a look at the symptoms first, and then we'll chase it back to how it's being populated.
Well, we can. Getting the symptoms might be a little bit slow because there's a glitch right now. I'm using UltraTree, and a recent upgrade to UltraTree has slowed things to a crawl in this one window. But let's see if it's doable. The problem's known. It's trying to explode every branch of the tree, which is quite a lot of work. It really needs just to expand one level, and it's not doing that.
Okay. Just help if we can see what have we got? Have we got certain columns populated? Are we getting one row, so on and so forth? So we know. Is it loading all of the data, which is the issue? Is it just loading adding the child, which is the issue, and so on?
Actually, I can probably best show that by flipping to another machine and showing you the email that I sent you earlier.
Okay. While you're doing that, I will have a quick look as well, because I do keep.
Well, there's the email.
Okay.
If I scroll down, we actually have. I thought I had a debug view output that showed the actual tree level values, but that's what I'm getting. I'm getting these three records displayed all at the same level, and they should be indented each under the one above it.
Okay, well, I'll bring up the emails and to see if there's another that you sent as well, which might just help. Yes, I've got that one. There was an attachment in the next. Project ID, you've got the control ID. Okay. Oh, so you've got the tree. That's good.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find a project that we can open. Unfortunately, because all of these things are exploded, it's just a long hunt. This is really unworkable. There we go. There we go.
Okay, so you got the yep, I remember this. You got the
Yeah,
job.
you should remember it, Andy. Okay, so that's the basic scheduling window, and what we want to do is edit the dates, the schedule, basically for the project itself, the one phase, and the one job within that project. And I have a button to access the new window, and there's the result.
Okay, so if you can just pull that window down a tiny bit so we can see. So you've got the project, yep, P0015, got that. Yep, and the phase and the job. Mm-hmm. So under the, let's say under the job, yeah, actually the project itself. Mm-hmm. How should that be presented? So that should be a tree, and what children should it have?
In this window, this should be the parent row, the root.
Yep.
This should be the child of the project.
Okay.
This one's the phase. And the job should be a child of that project. So that's the first level, and that's the second level of indentation.
Okay. And should there be any other rows in there to do with the requirements or the resources?
No, because we're not really changing the requirements or resources individually. We're just adjusting the entire window for the phase or the job.
Okay. And what from a trackbar point of view, what content would you have on there then?
Let me close the window. For the phase, for instance, we would be showing track bars for some. Okay. There we go. We should be showing track bars for this date range. And they just be a solid bar. There's no individual days
so
for individual.
One block.
Right.
The 31st. Okay. So going from the 1st of August till the 31st of October.
Correct.
Okay. Just out of interest, what scale are you putting on that window? Is it the project start and end dates as the scale? You know, the minimum.
Well, why don't we go look at that, Andy? Because I'm sure I don't remember.
I mean, we digress because that wouldn't affect the tree. I was just wondering from how big the blocks are going to be.
I haven't been here for so long, I don't remember. So we're beginning with the project dates, and the phase and the job have to fit within the project date range.
Yeah, so that would make sense from a visual point of view. So you can see if you've got different phases where they are. You know, phase 1, phase 2, and you can see the left going moving on, and so on and so forth.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, well let's have a look at the that populating of that straight from the add row, if you can.
Shoot. Okay, initially I'm building a queue, and this is the code that adds the rows. Going to loop through the queue.
Yep.
If we're working with a project, this is what we set. Block out. Let's see, row. Okay, we're adding the report control add row, and it is a parent. It's not a child. When I add a phase, now I'm adding a child row. Mm-hmm. The parent is the project, and the phase number is the new child.
Yeah, which is built. Yeah, okay.
And the job is the only other possible kind of record. And similarly, we add a child row related to the phase, and the current ID for the job is the new child row.
Okay, there's no chance that the project ID and the phase ID could contain the same number. if they're just IDs?
Why don't we?
Well, just as a test, obviously we're going to have to wait for the thing to reload and so on, but just as a test, where you're setting the phase ID,
I think actually the question is answered, Andy, if we go back to some of the earlier emails on this animal. This is probably going to be one of these things that's embarrassingly simple when it's all done. But I have been through it so many times.
Not a problem. Yeah, and you're not alone either, so.
Okay.
Okay. So yes.
This gives us a clue. As we're building this thing, the project ID is 10.174. The child for the phase is 11.51, and the child for the job is 12.36.
Okay. So yeah, there should be no problem with that. I was going to say is if you put if you build the ID of the row as part of its parent, then they're definitely going to be unique, even if they did have the same number in there.
Yeah, I can show you where I'm working on that. That would be loading the queue itself. So we're looping through a view.
Yep.
There's only ever going to be one project. So I initially find that project. I save that project number.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, the project type. I use
so equates.
Equates.
Yep.
For the types. And the ID is directly from the project.
Yep.
The
record ID
number.
Yep.
Correct. And I use one queue for all three records, so I'm just marking the phase and the job IDs as 0.
Yep.
And there I'm setting the start date and end date for the whole project. If it is a phase, and the phase number has changed going through the view, then I save the phase number. The type is a phase, again using an equate. Job number, or the project phase number is coming again from the table.
Yep.
And if it's not, if the current record is not a change in project or phase, then all it could be is a job. And I'm doing similar with the job, using an equate to identify it.
Okie dokie. Okay. From the column definitions, do you have let's have a look at the column definitions for the report control. If we can just scroll up, because that's where we're adding the roles, but I think I saw. No. Where'd you add your columns? Is it via code, or is it in the template?
It's by code. I think what I might have is a case where I have the same priority set for both of these embeds, and when you do that, it always jumps to the one. So this is where we add columns.
Oh, so it's just column 1.
That's it.
Okay, let me just take a quick look at that, the definition of that. Okay, so you've got column ID, fine, got its name, giving it a width, that's a minimum width, I take it. Yep, it's resizable, it's visible obviously, it's local data, and there's a column number. Right, okay. There is one particular thing which is bugging me though, with where you say it can have a tree. So it won't be a second, I'm just going to find that setting. Okay. Going back to yours. Can't find your window now. Hi, there you are. Okay. After that, can you do report control dot set column tree?
Set column. Oh, it is only 11:30. Set column tree.
Yep.
There we go.
You want the ID, which is column in capital 01. And true.
That's it.
Yep. Yep. Let's try
Test
that.
it.
Yep. Do you know what? It might not be there. Yeah, it might not be there because all that does is add. We might have to move it to a different embed point.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so if we can take that that line. And do a search for create columns. Okay, yeah, and after the parent call. Okay, let's try that if we can, please.
Would have been smart of me to memorize the customer name that had a project.
It was something one. I think it was something like that.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. I had to have passed it.
Wonder if it's on the screenshots you sent me.
Might well be.
Although it could be different data now, to be fair.
No, probably not, because I haven't worked on this for a long time.
I'll give you the job number. It's still P0015. I don't know if that helps. If you can search via that.
For some reason, it's not enabled right now.
No, the screenshots so far you sent me are the just of that window itself. Can never find them when you want to.
No, I apologize for this.
No problem.
Good grief.
Didn't seem to be this far down before, though, did it?
No, I don't think it was. This isn't going to help.
Yeah, sorry, I've been through my screenshots and the arrow of the window itself. Can't quite see the jobs and the projects behind.
This might help. That's ridiculous.
Did a SQL query on the data to find the customer that way?
That's probably the quick way to do it.
The project was, hang on, just had it. P-0015.
Zero, 015.
Yep.
Okay. And the customer is 232. So that should be Akko Komori. Let's see if it is. There we go. Thanks. Thanks for giving me the push that direction, Andy.
Yeah, no problem.
It's wasting a lot of time.
Right.
There we go. There we go. Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So, oh God, you asked that ages ago. That's major failure on my behalf because I could have logged in and had a look. But yes, basically it was creating the roles because we had a problem in the past where the roles weren't created, but I forget what the fix was for that. Yeah, it was literally the column didn't have the tree definition turned on, so it was never going to. It would let you add children, but it visually would all display.
It wouldn't display them. Yeah. Well, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was after. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So now I need to finish the functionality of that window, which is just more work for me.
Well, obviously, I mean, if you just close that and go to the dates of the project, just as you got a yeah. So not the phase, the project itself. Oh yeah. So that's luckily it's the same one. You went, oh yeah, of course it is. It's only you got one phase, one job, one phase, one project, but that could still span. So all I would say in that is have a look at your scaling, and basically maybe come up with something dynamically at runtime for the scale. You might get away with, because you have the minimum as the project start date, the maximum as the project end date, and then for the scale you might have to define it at runtime and have a look at basically if it's spanning multiple months, maybe have the interval as maybe fortnightly, 4 weekly, something like that. And if it's only a smaller job, then you might get away with just days. But I think you're going to have to be dynamic in the calculation of the scale, depending on the length of time for that particular overall job.
That sounds right. That's a good observation. Thank you.
So, cool. Well, at least we got there in the end on that. And
yeah, just more work for me now. Thank you.
And the template idea about the variable, that looks nice. Yeah, I shall put that in.
It's slick. I like it. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
So, any other questions? Or is this going to be a very short-lived user group?
I had a request.
Oh, did you? Okay. I didn't see that.
I did. I just remembered it.
Okay. Oh, from you. Okay.
From me. Yes. You didn't see it because I didn't write it down. In the data binding, in the report control,
yep,
where it loads the data binding, where it does the data bind load, I think that's what it's called, something like that. Anyway, there's a statement in there that clears all the rows before it does the data binding. And sometimes I like to keep adding to the rows.
Okay, just yes, this is the latest one. Yep. What's the name of the method?
I was trying to remember it. I think it's something with load. There it is. Okay.
Delete
so
all.
let's see what you got here. You got delete all columns. I thought there was a delete all rows too.
No, I would have thought because
I guess just the columns then. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because it would issue a somewhere against the actual data source. It would issue an equivalent of a query and a refresh, if you will.
Right. Anyway, sometimes I don't want to do that because I want to kind of call it a couple times and fill up the report control, maybe from different sources or something. So what I was thinking of was to leave it there because you don't want to affect anything that's already there, but to add an optional flag where it would skip it.
Yeah, can do that. The only thing you would do there is it deletes the columns now. It basically gets the record set, so that's where it's really going off. There it is, refresh. I knew there was a refresh somewhere. So it sets the data source, connection string, refresh, which would actually go and tell it to go and get the data, if you will. And then, yeah, we've got it open. We bind it to the report control. So now the report control is married to the data source by this point. But the columns could be queried in different order. Could be a completely different table for that matter. Get a different query. Right. So that's why you have that. Now, if we make that optional, which we can do, it's not a problem, we'd have to make these optional at the same time. Basically, if you don't delete, it can't go off and recalculate all the columns, because you'd end up with every time you just keep adding to the column queue. So first time you've got 5 columns, next time you would have 6 to 10, next time 11 to 15, and so on and so forth.
Right. Okay.
So
does that make sense though? If I wanted to just keep kind of adding on to it, because I came across a situation where that's what I needed to do. I needed to keep adding, which I could do, and I could do that in regular. I could just add row, add row, add row, but I couldn't do it with the data bind.
Well, I was going to say you wouldn't be. Would you be able to do that? I suppose if it doesn't delete the columns, take a quick look in that.
Oh yeah, okay, yep. Yeah, I was doing this in scripted. That's what I was doing, and I just commented out that delete all columns, and then it worked the way I needed it to.
Okay. I think, off the top of my head, so if I've got this right, you query and you get so many rows.
Right.
Then, if you've got that commented out, you query again, you retain your current rows and you get more. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I actually think that's a byproduct of the delete columns delete all, because that would, I'm guessing, delete all the rows as well, because if you haven't got columns, how can you have any rows?
Right.
So I think CodeJock internally, I'm guessing, but I think internally CodeJock is working on that logic, and that would make sense. If you haven't got anything defined, how can you have data for nothing?
Right.
Okay, so that makes sense. So okay, let's take a look at that then. So
the situation was basically I've got multiple projects in a table, right? And they're separated by a project ID. And so when I first launched the program, I just want to see from ID 1, I guess, the projects that are ID 1. And then I want to be able to select a tab, or say I want to add it. I want to add project 2, and then I just want to load project 2 in. I don't want to keep loading in project 1 and project 2. I want to load project 1 and 2 into the report control, and then filter by 2 and 1, because that's really fast when I go between the 2 tabs.
Got you.
Instead of having to keep loading. All that was the situation.
That's your idea.
Yep. And it works nice. It's quick. Otherwise, you got the load every time, and I didn't want to keep doing that.
Okay.
Filtering quick.
So I suppose we will have keep columns.
Yeah, that'll work.
That will give you that. But as I say, you would have to go through now. That would have already been calculated. Those would have already been, okay, they should be in the loop. Added. Yeah, it should just be a case of that. And of course, it's virtual. Just 1 second. Oh, we won't get a compiler if we don't do this.
Well, I had one more question too. It just reminded me of one more thing.
No problem. Oh, I'd already knocked that on. That's a bit naughty. That was mine set to 3.58.
Change the year. Change the year. Line 4.
Yeah, there's something. Client access. No, something's wrong there. Won't be a second. Just looking at our masters templates. Going to the history, we've got a 3.59.
Oh no. Maybe you just forgot to change it up on top. Oh, but then it wouldn't have worked, right?
Auto build inline. You see, all these are, these are published things.
Let's see what version I have. Report control.
Okay, sorry about this, everybody. Just a little bit of panic.
Well, mine says 358.
Maybe I haven't released the others yet. Because I would put it in. It might just be a case of that, but has anybody got those options? Inline filter, auto build inline.
359.
So if you've got 3.58, could I just ask you to check something for me? Do you have that option?
Automatically build.
Yeah, it's options, inline controls.
Build. Drop down. Uh-oh. Should that be in a TPL? Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have it.
TPW.
It's not TPW. Let me go look there. Which file was that?
It's NYS underscore report control TPW. Oh, that's a really old build.
I do have automatically build drop this option in mine.
So is it just a case? I haven't.
Maybe you just didn't renumber it. Do you have, if you turn your line number on, is that on line 133?
130.
I have that on my line 133.
Okay. Well, I'll check that here afterwards. That's just thrown me a little, that. So if anything, this will be 360. Do we have a release date for 9th of December?
Oh.
Default 3.59, which, yeah, okay. I can check one other place. Sorry about this, everybody. Just in a little bit of panic, but I can just check with report control the master releases. No, that got released as 3.58, even though the history would have said 3.59. So it got released with the wrong number on the top. Okay.
Well, then you get to do your first 2017.
No, I think Property Grid's already had a couple. Okay, so that was 27th. And we'll put the history in a second. So the one we've just changed is there should be a virtual method for this. Yep.
I'm glad you're still here, Andy. I kind of missed coming on early.
Tut. Okay, just one little thing. Just a heads up for everybody. If in the templates you ever take a look and go digging around, then if you see in the methods, it has a variable, so it takes a parameter of, can't find one now, let's find one. There you go, P refresh. If it's just P, it basically means it is really internal, not internal use. You can use it as well, but you can't derive the method. Now this one, which has a virtual on the end, means you can derive it. If it's a virtual, I always call it param. So it's just a little, you ever going through stuff and you think, what's the difference? That's why. So it's just a quick way that you can tell that you can derive it.
That's what shocked you, didn't it? Right.
Okay, so I'm not sure I've got the 3.58.
So you ever comment out a virtual comma in there just so you know that one's virtual?
I could do. I mean, I could put the actual full prototype on the end. I don't. It's just, you know,
the parm will tell you.
Yeah.
Eddie, stop, go back. Keep columns. Keep columns is right where the arrow's pointing. You need to change that to param. Keep columns.
Oh yes.
Also down lower, there's one more down below.
Yep.
Okay. Exactly.
Cool.
That's all. You don't. Isn't there any below that?
No, we just put this in now. So John's weekly challenge. So we've got No,
that was my weekly request. I didn't give you the challenge yet.
Oh, okay.
Whoa,
do you know?
Whoa.
That shouldn't actually be keep columns. That should be keep data, or data, as you would say. But because.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense, right?
Yeah, because you're actually using it to keep the content. Maybe we should call it keep content.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I like it.
It'll take longer to name it than we'll do the change. Keep content and keep content. So basically, it won't delete them. Is that right? Yes. Sorry. As long as it's false, it will remove those, and it will go and reanalyze the columns.
Excellent.
So, and that's basically where it takes, because when it's data bound, you've got the actual column names from your SQL Select, then it can actually bring out the data out of that. Let's just put that through. Param keep content. We'll change that in a second. Keep content. Keep content. Oh. Okay, let's try that. I can't really try it, but make sure we can get a compile, and then John, you'll have to put it through its paces if I can ask that. Oh, actually, no, I have got an example. Of course I have.
How come you made it 60A?
It's the first build of that local build. You never get to see the A, Bs, and so on. It's just for me.
Okay.
That's why that's why it threw me a little that I had some history for 3.59, which would be quite common, just as I've done there now, but no version number, no A on the end. Okay.
Oh.
Data. No, content. Yeah. Content? Yeah. Load.
Data load, it's not got that. Yeah. Power and key content. Oh.
What are the brackets?
Yeah. They're not optional. Basically, what I do there is I build up a queue. It's called a multi in template, but for us it's a queue. Build up a queue of all the derivable methods. There's some common ones automatically added, and then each product has its own set which get added to it. And basically, I get to build the embed code from these parameters. So it's the name, the definition, the parameters that it's going to be called with for the parent call, and if it's going to return. Makes it very easy.
Easy peasy.
It took some time, probably, I don't know, 6-7 years ago doing that, and it's paid dividends now, so definitely worth it. Let's let Avast do its magic. There we go. That's some debug. So basically, have I got a call to it? Getting the compile is a good start anyway. Okay. You reckon it will keep the data, John? Oh, Avast.
I reckon it will.
Didn't know Avast usually does that.
Hang on. Okay.
We're all here with bated breath. Right, okay. So there's one Not getting the desired result, desired effect,
What's it doing?
and it should be getting the actual. No, let's move that one out of the way. And that's John's. Move that one out of the way, and here's one I prepared earlier. Well, it's getting the parameter. You have to try it in yours, John, but it might be that you're issuing a different SQL, something like that. Oh, of course it will. It'll be different data coming back, so the row ID will be different. So in turn, you will get more data, of course.
Right.
Yep. Comes down to the golden rule: every row must have a unique ID.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, but it was a test for you to see.
Of course. Well, so to prove the theory, we would do it how?
I don't know. You have to change the data or filter it.
I was going to change the data.
That would work.
So I'm sure VAST never used to be as bad as this.
They're trying to compete with Norton.
So yeah. Okay. So there's access. Oh, crikey. Okay. Okay, well, forget that. But yes, it will be down to that. Don't know why access. That's the thing it's going into, which is just one pinch from the cal events, really, the calendar. Okay. Anyway, it will be down to that. So
it worked nice. I mean, I tested it, and it worked when I was doing my test anyway.
Well, if you want a copy of those, I can zip them up, and then you can just quickly mod yours to be like that, and then hey presto, you'll just be able to pass it the optional parameter on subsequent loads.
Okay, I'll give that a go.
We should really put one extra thing in there. We should really put a trap. If you always call it with true, but it's never got any columns in the first place, it won't work. You probably cause an error.
Oh yeah, okay. So you should do a check for the columns in there. Good catch. Yeah,
I'm just thinking, because then you'd be able to set it to one particular thing, but the first time it would get basically bail you out, so to speak.
Right.
Okay, so count the columns. If you've said keep the content, then don't count the columns, otherwise do. And if the queue is empty, then you definitely got to go calc, regardless of what you want to do. Actually, it's the same if. Okay, That should do you. That'll be better. Okay. Yeah, you should be good to go at that, John. I can fire those 5 files across afterwards.
Awesome.
No
My
problem.
turn.
Your turn. So, let's bring back the one for everybody else. Let's actually just prepare the folder first, and then we'll cover what we're going to do. So it was command bars, was it not?
Yes, sir. Do you have a compiler of that already?
Oh, sorry, I was just making my notes for the minutes actually.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okie dokie. Right.
Okay. Okay.
So the point we got to, yeah, go on.
So open up a couple of windows. Whoops.
Okay, okay. I think with it different controls we were using, yes.
Okay. Now, open up something here like edit control or something down below. Oh no, that's select. Okay.
Oh, gotta say, yeah.
Do this. How do you close this window? Oh, that X there. Okay. Now click on window list on the top.
Yep.
And yeah. And leave it up like that. Just now try and close this.
This window
down below. Yeah, the one down below. No, not there.
Oh, sorry, right, got you. Window list. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, when I have that open, and I have like another window open from the window you have.
Yeah, so maybe that one as well. Remember, this has got your the maximize for everybody else. Actually, let's just bring in the normal command bars because that's our height issue problem that we were looking at. So just have to close that a second. Try again. There we go.
Don't you just wish they added more products to this suite for you?
I'm busy on some other things actually. So,
Ooh.
yeah, watch this space. But there's still updates going on this. The backstage view and so on and so forth is getting close as well. A bit delayed because I've just been away, which was nice, but it doesn't help from a dev point of view. But yeah, no, there's a few things in the irons in the fire, so to speak.
I don't know how you do it, but there you go. Okay. Boy, that really checks everything.
I know. Maybe it's the latest update. It's a bit overzealous today, this. I went to Avast because all the others started to get, got a bit OTT. Okay,
Yeah, so if you can open a window that opens more windows under it.
We've got 3. There you go.
Okay. So now now leave that open.
Yep.
And now go down below. Oops, leave it showing.
Yep, got it.
Okay. Now go down below and close one of them. Look at that.
Combination, I know what that is. Okay. That that list is calculated by myself, by the class. And to do that, I subclass the frame and watch for MDI windows opening and closing. So as you open, I know in the background what's open, and so on and so on. That gives me the ability to be able to go, okay, I want to bring that one into focus or that one into focus.
Right.
Now, command bars is notorious for having an issue where you have that open and you go off to another window, and I could bring this window. I don't know if you can see that, actually, that's probably the wrong window. Let me bring that into view, and the pop-ups remain over the top.
Right.
Now, they're notorious because they shouldn't do it. There is a method called close all pop-ups, which if I could detect on the app frame the lose focus and gain focus, then you can call it, because where's the, let me bring it in to show you.
Well, it's just like any drop list in the command bar. It stays open even if you move away from it. Is there a way to just tell it to close up, or
Yep.
like that? For instance, that.
Yeah, that perfect example. That,
Yeah.
you know, in all intents and purposes, is rubbish, and that's being polite. So yeah, so there is a close all pop-ups, and the clue
So is that something we should be doing?
no,
Calling?
no. There is code in the class. So if I go and show you where it is on a resize, I will close all pop-ups. So let's bring the app back in again, and I'll resize. And hey presto, it's closed it. So there's, you know, the code in action. So on a resize, we close all pop-ups. Tracking mode changed. I'll take your word for it. I forget what that is. MDI child selected. I close all pop-ups. So that should have.
But it's not closing it for that little window thing. Oh, was that a ribbon bar or just a command bar? I didn't notice. That was just a command bar, right?
No, that was MDI. So it'd be all of them. So that should be triggering first. Maybe that's too late, because it would do that. How did we do that again? You had that, and then we closed one of the windows, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not MDI. Sorry, no, it's not MDI selected. Okay, it's one of the other MDIs. MDI child resize, child selected, control show.
But shouldn't it close when you lose focus of that drop list?
Yeah, well, one of the things. There's a perfect example. Let's fire this up again. Okay, I'll have a couple of windows open. Now I go and click on Notepad. That's the frame has lost focus. Okay.
Right.
So I know in here. Let's just jump to the others. There you go. Of event lose focus. Suppress it. Tell you to not suppress it and close all the pop-ups. So that should be. If you put your debug view code in, Clarion app frame, and I've tried this because I've just been working on an app for this exact problem. If I go and click to Notepad now, Clarion's not lost focus. He doesn't post the event. Now I can add debug view in there to prove the fact, but the lose focus doesn't trigger. So in the particular app I had to subclass the main application frame, detect that, and post the event myself manually. So that's why the issue is there. So when we say, oh, hang on, that's open, now we're coming to here and doing something with this, the app frame has never lost focus, so it's never really told to do that job. So that's why.
So we have to do that ourselves?
No. I'm going to see if I can find a place for you.
Okay.
So it's going to be in the MDIs I want to know where I add to that queue, and that's where I'll need to do it. Add control. No, that's it. Oh. Okay. There is another queue where you see what the MDI windows are. Child window queue, could be that. There. Temporarily, just to prove it, we should be able to do it this way. Oh, yep, of course. Oh. Sorry about this, everybody. It could be a little boring, but basically what we're going to do is you got the derive class. Oh, wow. Okay, no. I know what it is, but this is going to be a bit more involved. Okay. What I think we'll be able to do okay. Sorry about this, everybody. You can blame Arnold.
Please do.
Okay. In the common class, I'm going to put an empty method. called close all pop-ups, which in itself will not do anything. Then we'll do our find all child windows. We'll have that call close all pop-ups, which again in itself won't do anything. But then in the command bars class, that also contains the close all pop-ups. That one takes precedence because it's derived from the common. That one takes precedence, which means that that code will execute when it's called in the command bars, but all the other products, which are derived from common, won't do. So we're hoping for that, with that, and that. Open. Need to address that, but if I go to that.
No.
Okay. So I'm going to have to. We should be going through that code. Just.
Well, that's everywhere then.
Bad place to put it, yeah. Well, it's on the resize, and of course the command bars would be resizing. So, let me take that back out of there for now then. I wonder. Oh no, you can't because nothing's been pressed. It's only the MDI. It's going to have to go on the on that particular action. Yeah. Yeah, but at least we should have only the correct ones built. Okay, leave it with me, and I will have to take a look, Arnold.
Mm. See, John, I give them harder ones than you do. Sorry about that. I just happened to hit it yesterday. That's all.
Well, like I say, we had on ours we have a navigator down the left, which is nothing more than basically one of these bars on the left, if you will, and basically they could fold out this extra menu down at the bottom, but like a start, if you will, and it folds out a pop-up menu, and then they could click elsewhere, and of course the pop-up menu's left lying around. So the workaround was because Clarion's not posting the lose event, which is a real shame. We had to subclass the main app frame and call it, and it worked perfect as expected. So we know that it works. There's the thing in action. So I just need to trap these, and I would have thought the perfect place for that would have been where I enumerate.
Okay. Just write yourself a note. It's not a showstopper because it just goes out and they got to come back in, but
No,
I doubt people hit it very much. I mean, it's the
Does it do the same thing with another pop-up?
It's any pop-up.
Or just with that one with the MDI windows in it. Like, for example, the theme, does it stay on and it'll also crash when you close up a...
It would, yeah, because if you had that... Oh, no.
Right.
No, it wouldn't be if you close up one of the others. It's because we're interested. So if we go to that, let's keep it open.
Leave that on, yeah.
Yeah. And then
It doesn't affect that.
It's just
yeah.
out there.
It's just that window list.
They're physically interacting.
Yeah, I would just get rid of that, Arnold. I mean...
No.
You know.
Well, then I probably should and just show tabs. You know how JP used to do tabs and show those windows.
Yeah. You know, as a quick workaround, anyways. You know, if it's the only one that actually crashes your app.
I'm not sure anybody else is touching it or seeing it because nobody's saying it. I just
what it's doing is.
Because they also appear up in the menu, right, on the window.
No, because
they don't.
I hide it.
The window one, up above.
Yeah, I don't show that.
Oh.
On the menu up there.
Yeah, right on the window. Yeah.
Yeah, next to the help menu.
Yeah.
Try and close it there.
So, what it's doing is basically
that's interrelated. That's the problem.
Yeah, when we're closing that, it's going back and sending a command to this to go and rebuild.
Right.
Okay. So, and what it'll be doing is it'll be going to a null pointer. That's what we'll be getting.
Yeah, that's right. GPFs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No big deal. The bigger deal for me is the resize to the app frame and the shadow.
Well, the resize is, and we've might there a couple of weeks ago. We proved that it was technically Clarion again not passing that event on because we took out we took out all the command bars and so on. But that's no good for you because it doesn't particularly help you. So now we got a bit of a workaround on. I noticed a big change on the shadow. Where we ended up with a lot of spare space. So I'm working on that. I will try and get something for you this week. I'm only just this week getting back into the swing of things. So I'll try and get a fix for you this week on that.
Okay.
So
people just go in and out, but it doesn't look good. But it is what it is right now.
Mainly to do with the shadow. Let's see if we can recreate it. Just there, that. And it's definitely got worse with Clarion 10, and it's all to do with the process that the events are triggering. We're trapping because the events you can't really say, oh, you must go do code A, then code B, then code C. We don't get that luxury, unfortunately, because they can go in any order. It just so happens they're not always in the right order. So I need to basically it'll probably be done via a subclass. I'll be honest. I'll probably subclass that. Detect my own events and I'll action my own events, and then that way I'm in control of it and I'm not waiting for Clarion to tell me that the do resize has happened.
Yeah, remember a long time ago, this is years ago, for me, when I have that main ribbon bar or command bar, when I opened another window like the one down below that already has a command bar, and I have them both max, I don't like to see two ribbon bars or command bars on the top, So I would shrink the one on the top and it would go to a tab.
Yep. So if I just switch this into that mode.
Yeah.
So let's just say it was where was it? Different bars. No. Could we get away with this? That might not actually do what we're after.
Well, what I was going to say is when the one that shrinks up on top, when I open that secondary command,
right, but that's for a ribbon bar, right? Not for
You should be getting that, to be fair.
Yeah, so I have the ribbon bar, but the thing is my ribbon bar hides away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the only ribbon bar you see is the one on the secondary window that just popped up.
Yep.
Well, what happens sometimes is when I close that one window, and it's not all the time, it's like when I log into some customers, their windows, their ribbon bar stays hidden. It doesn't come back down. And I can't figure out why, because it's the same program. It works in mine, works in everybody else's, but certain machines, it hides. It stays hidden, and I have to go click the tab to bring it back down.
That should be detecting. Let me just see if we can emulate here. Yeah, this is told to inherit, and of course all the settings are shot to pieces, so to speak. Right. God, Avast is going to get into on my nerves today. Right, so we've got our different, and you have it, so that's no good, because we want it to be calling different windows, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. Let me just put that back to a ribbon, child. But we'll change the main to be a bit crude, this example, but we'll change the interface.
Yeah, so do you have that one?
To ribbon. Yeah. Now, we would have tabs. We'll just have tab 1. Group 1. Don't really need. Content can be from the Clarion menu, and that can just contain everything. So this will look terrible, but it will give us the idea that what we're after.
Then you have something to hide.
I'll put the control on in a second.
Oh, okay.
Who gets Noyantis products in order for it to look terrible?
Whoa. Well, he just has an eye for perfection. That's all.
Oh, Avast is really testing me today. Right. Okay. Oh, we never give it any content.
Why is it so picky, man? Why don't
Oh,
you
no.
just tell it to ignore your development folder, for goodness sakes?
Well, I create a new folder for every webinar, so that doesn't help. Okay.
Just at the higher level.
You have it so it auto hides, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, when I click, it auto hides, and that one maximizes. And I maximize.
Let's put that on.
And then when
auto hide, can you even remember where it is? Ribbon, animation, balloon, which includes status. It might be on the bar itself. No, that's the menu bar, obviously. Client, allow bar to be minimized, yes.
But the command bar auto hide? I thought it was just the task panel and that auto hide that did the auto hide.
No, you can say for a ribbon to the bar to actually auto hide.
The ribbon bar. Okay.
Yeah, the ribbon bar auto hides when you click on
something else.
If we went to that.
So that, can you make that maximized? Start maximized. Okay. So what happens is when I close this, the sometimes that ribbon bar doesn't come back down, stays up, hidden.
Do you want it to open maximized? That window.
The secondary one, any one of them, right?
And we'll have command bar actions. Okay, different. So maximized.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now when we close.
Yeah, it should come back. But sometimes it stays up, and I can't figure out what would do that. And I don't know if it's the OS or what, but it sometimes stays up. And
Which one? Command bar actions. That was the other one, weren't it? So now, how about if I go and press it and open another? So now we've interacted with it while it's been closed. No.
yeah, yep, that's normally how it works. Close, open, comes back down when none of them's left. And then, yeah, you can click up there and pick them if you need to.
Yeah, because at that moment in time, that ribbon's actually floating.
Mm. And I don't know what situation, like, can something outside the program affect this?
That's a bit of an open-ended question. We just look at the auto hide.
Is this on your own machine, Arnold, or would
No,
this be
no,
using
no,
TS?
no. It's in TS Plus.
So maybe a timing issue?
I don't know because it's consistent for that user, and I'm going. So the thing is running on Windows 7 out there, but I've seen it on my own machine once in a while, but I haven't been able to reproduce it. But I just thought I would bring it up because maybe you might say, well, you can force it down or something. And the thing is, even if if it stayed up and I clicked on that tab, brought it back down, click and open something, it's kind of like it's stuck. Like somebody needs to grease that so it comes back down, just stays up. But I don't want to take up time for you to do that. But that's in essence the situation I'm in, and looks kind of weird.
Grease the bar, huh?
Yeah.
Well, just I'll take one quick look at that. What that's setting, because the auto hide, that's a state, ribbon state. High strategy. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. So
if nothing's there open other than the main app frame, it should be open, right?
Yeah, basically, so it has a look. Have we got children? Child window queue. True or false? Go through, and then it will actually go through the particular bars.
So it must think some child's open for some reason.
And it should. I was going to say those two should be inversed of each other. So that becomes minimized and the visible. So if you've got children, the minimize is true and the visible is false. So if you follow that through to the bottom here, that's where it will go off and set the actual bar properties, both the visible and if it's a ribbon.
Yeah. I mean, the thing obviously is working for almost everybody except for a few situations, and so until I can figure that out,
so you
can't
get to the
reproduce
point
it.
where let's see if we can try and get that. So you're closing that, and this is left just in that state. There's no window here.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
Yeah, so it's left literally none of this is on show. You're just there.
Correct. Yeah. Weird.
It's almost, it's a populated. It comes back to that child queue, which we were talking about before. The child window queue, for the APIs and so on and so forth. It's like it's either got the wrong property. Has that not actually enumerated in time? Yeah, that should be in common. Yeah, and it's subclassed, and we go through and we rebuild at that point. So I'm wondering whether when you've closed, mind you, no, you're closed, that would do the notify. It would go through, rebuild that, do the MDI selections, which is the thing I was mentioning earlier about the closed pop-ups. That's a subclass, and then we need to know where the set strategy is being called from, and I would guess it's in the MDI control show. The last thing it does would be that. Arnold, on that one site, if you say they get it quite often, is it?
You know, I can't even remember who they are anymore. But they, yeah. What happened was in their machine, it happens all the time. It's the normal state. They have to click on that to bring it down. It just goes away after the initial show. They pick something, the child closes, and it doesn't come back down itself. And so thank God that most of the time they click on that primary window that opens up, and they work in there all day long.
Yeah.
So it's not a normal issue. Like once they have that open, they're working in there.
Didn't you put a little minus button on there?
Oh, what that? What?
Just let me. Now this, I can just run it actually.
9.
Yeah, actually I can just. No, I'll just run it. Don't need to fire that up. But I use the same on one of my apps because I need as much screen real estate as possible. So this is the okay. Same what you're referring to. I have it minimized and only let them bring out when needed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always back. But if they ever wanted it, they can. Oh, what do you know? That's not bringing it out anyway. Let me go back into mine. Oh, I think I've introduced that's not been reported, but it looks like I've introduced a bug, because that should be bringing the menu down, minimize and maximize the menu.
Yeah, I have that same one we worked on a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. I think it was yourself who gave me the idea for it.
Something happened.
That's the 9.1. That build will be really old.
Well,
okay, I shall take a look.
Well, whatever you find, the thing is, I hand-coded my class that called your classes, so maybe it's something that's holding on to the old way of doing things. I don't know.
No, to be fair, because the set strategy is then controlled from the child window queue. So it's, you'd have to.
I'm not touching that.
You'd have to go to your way to break that. To be fair, so
okay.
So no, the bug will be mine, not yours. Don't worry.
All right. Okay. And anyway, those two things are
well, the shadows, the shadows, the first one, and that's in progress.
Three things, I should say. Anyway, and then the resize. So there's 4 things out there, but
I know the resize is Clarion where we want to.
I know
we could do a workaround, but yeah. Well, the thing
weren't you going to slap them in the head and say, "Hey, pay attention to this"?
Yeah, but I was waiting for DevCon for that.
Oh man.
It's the only time we get action out of them.
Oh, I guess we got to show it to them, right? Embarrass them in front of everybody or something.
But we started the changes we did when Mike was here a couple of weeks ago. Definitely helped Mike's code, and it helped. If anything, it made mine a little worse. But that's fine because I'm going to take it out of Clarion's hands and subclass and go on my own events. So and I do suggest Mike probably does that as well. But if I can detect it and fire that event Mike can pick up on it, and his code should
Yeah.
actually fall into place. So through a combination of the pair of us, we should be able to give you, I wouldn't say it's 100% workaround, but it'll be a high 90s.
Okay.
Definitely better.
Yeah. Because it's kind of weird when you think about it. They resize. They go, whoa, what happened? It doesn't.
Yeah, well, you resize, you expect it to resize.
Everything
including
is
the name.
resized. Everything. Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's it for me today.
Okay. I think there's another things. Window list. No, that was just Roberto mentioning about the pop up on the themes and so on. So I think we're done. We're nearly at the 2 hour mark anyway, which is a good time.
Perfect.
Until next week, and we'll see if we've got them fixed.
Wait.
No, wait.
I have something to talk
Uh-oh.
about briefly.
Yes. Sorry, by the way.
You have 4
Arnold.
minutes.
Arnold's already mentioned this, but today is the 8-year anniversary of Clarion Live, and Andy Wilton was the first guest.
Yes.
So,
Yay!
look at that. Yay.
Andy.
Do you know?
And to kick the whole thing off 8 years ago.
I do remember. I saw the announcement earlier. Sorry, I did actually mean to comment on it. Yes, congratulations, of course. 8 years. You've got to be impressed with that. And I do remember I think you'd sent me an email or a message, and then we did a Skype call, and it was a bit surreal because Noyantis was only in its infancy, although Noyantis has been going. I'm trying to think now. It's a tiny bit older. The company was actually formed 2 years prior to doing the templates, but it was really to do a holiday search website. It was nothing to do with Clarion or anything like that. So it got renamed at Company's House to Noyantis, and Noyantis was born. But it was only a tiny bit before Clarion Live, only a few months. You got in touch, and it was really surreal because one, I was thinking, what the hell's a webinar? And two, during the call, I was on a short break, which I usually am, and I was over in Spain. So I'm there in Spain talking to 2 Americans about doing a weekly webinar, about doing a webinar. So to say it was surreal was an understatement.
Well, Andy, we're the Oprah of Clarion. Okay.
Is that what we are?
Whatever.
So
But we were so glad that you came because we said people need to hear what this guy's doing. So
I know.
yeah.
Sadly, we only have
us.
half the recording, though. It was the first time we'd done
Yeah,
recording.
it was so sad.
The recording crashed like in the middle. So well, we got part of it. So.
And at the time, in fact, in bad omen, at the time, our dog, which was obviously 8 years younger, was only 18-month-old, 2-year-old at the time. I think it was the day before or 2 days before, the dog scratched my eye, and I had to go and get drops. And I did the webinar. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I did the webinar half blind. Because because I had drops in my eye, so everything was blurred vision in my left eye. So that made for an interesting webinar too.
Well, you got through it.
We did. And 8 years later, so here's to another 8 years at least.
Yep, that was pretty good. I mean, when you think back 8 years, it's like, whoa. And it was only going to be 1 year. Wow.
It shows. Look at the commitment you guys have done. That's, now you've got it to what? There's 5-6 webinars a week. There's only 7 days in the week.
You can thank John and Bruce for that.
So, no.
And Andy.
And Andy.
No, it's you guys.
And Roberto now.
And Roberto.
What did I do?
You started a couple up.
You started 2 Spanish ones.
Oh yeah, we did.
Actually,
We're
Roberto,
still on them. No,
Roberto,
we're already on our 50th webinar.
Look at that.
I thought you were going to say 50th year.
No, 50th webinar. I mean, they happen so fast. They're like
I do
It
need
really
to
is incredible how fast it goes.
thank. Actually, just one quick one. I need to thank Roberto because I think it was during the Spanish ones he mentioned the Noyantis products and the wrapper templates and so on, and the code jot controls. Mentioned it to the group, and I think that customer Oscar is present with us here now. So thank you to Roberto for recommending.
He's online right now, Oscar.
Yep, I just saw. And thank you to Oscar for obviously purchasing the controls. That's always a bonus, of course. It helps keep things going. So no, thank you for that. And yet again, I was on a little break in Spain.
That's funny.
We make your work no matter where you are.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Let's call it a wrap. Thank you very much, guys, and thank you, John and Arnold, for the thing, and congrats to you guys. And I shall see you next week.
You
Thanks.
betcha. Take care.
See you guys
Cheers.
later.
Bye.
Bye.